Talking sports. It's in the game.
Hello? Hello there. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I got the channel here. I'm listening now. Yeah, and I can hear myself. And
Oh shit, that's because I didn't mute shit.
the intro just played.
Kept you all waiting, didn't we? Good evening, everyone. Apologies for the delay, but you join us just after the start of qualifying for the opening round of Season 5 of Power F1. I'm Lars of the Red Hot Lovers, challenger driver and commentator for at least for a couple of weeks, and with me in the combox for tonight is fellow challenger driver and last night's podium finisher, Thomas D.
Good evening. Nice to be here.
Nice to have you with us. And yes, as I say, there was a bit of a delay. We have only just gotten onto the track here at Bahrain on F1 2023, which has had a lot of hype around it, a lot of excited drivers. And yeah, we haven't even actually got the bankers. They should be coming through any second now, so we haven't missed too much. But 19 drivers on the grid, basically a full grid, which bodes well for an exciting season. And hopefully we'll get some good, clean racing out there, although I'm slightly concerned by the fact that Gamma B and Jan are on the intermediates.
That's something I saw, yeah. It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Well, this is the pro tier, so I'm sure they know what they're doing. They certainly know more than I do, anyway. We have a couple of compounds out there, but before we go into the details, we'll just introduce every driver. So we have iCrazy in the Aston Martin, Catastrophius in the Ferrari, Casito in the Haas, Benjo in the Alfa Romeo, Tixi in the Haas, Gamma B in the Alpine, Suyan in the Williams, Lil Gissa in the Alfa Tauri, Jan in the other Aston, Narastaya, I think is how you say that, in the Williams, James Taylor in the Mercedes, JTK, Bradley Leonards, Rocco, Persegili, Mali, Lil Giona, Rickety, and Roy. So, some old faces, quite a few new ones, but all have proven their worth in the time trials, all within 1.5 seconds of each other when the final time trials came in, so this should be a close field. And barring the early couple of bankers that we're seeing, because obviously these are not representative, as we see a few making mistakes, I don't know, Thomas D, who's your money on to start with?
To take pole position, well, it's going to be a very difficult one. We have a lot of good drivers in here, but if I have to name a few, I think Bradley is going to be a big competitor for pole, and I'm excited to see what Rickety can do as well. So
Bradley's still in the pits, Rickety just coming through to take third. I remind you that for Pro we do full qualifying sessions, just in case you weren't aware of that, Thomas. So we will lose 4 drivers in this session.
Yep.
This is not for pole, but obviously stamping down a good time early on wouldn't be a bad thing. And maybe that explains why... That certainly explains why Casey was on the mediums. Not sure it excuses Gamma B from being on the inters, to be honest. Does he really think he's good enough to set a time to get through Q1 on the inters?
It would be very surprising.
It would be very surprising, but it would be basically a free set of tyres, about as free as you could get.
Exactly.
We are seeing a couple of yellows, but that's mostly people just slowing down for their laps. Only 7 drivers so far, Suyan setting a representative time there. Casito actually at the back on those mediums, so it hasn't paid off for him so far. As we see Tixi coming out. And we've got Gamma B there. We've got a McLaren just crossed the line. That'll be Rocco, who you may remember from Challenger last year. Did very well. Made his way up to the Pro Series. Same with Rickety, actually. Both old hands at this game. Rickety especially. Been racing for over a decade now. And we'll just... Not too much to speculate on at the minute until we get everyone's first couple of times in, but still... Just riding on board with Gamma. I mean, he's nowhere near. He's only coming up the hill now and he's in the 1-minute 9s. Also, that's not what the engines are meant to sound like. I forgot I had a sound mod installed, so you'll hear the lovely sound of V8s.
That will never disappoint.
That will never disappoint. Sorry if you see Bradley up on... Bradley asking for please stream. I think he might be a little bit behind there. As Gamma crosses the line with a 1:34. Yeah, did a 1:33, so... I mean, not everyone's done a lap time yet, but if that's enough to get them through the top 15, I will be shell-shocked, would be the only way I could describe it. Although, having said that, Lil Gissa has only done a 1:37, must have made a mistake somewhere. And indeed is zooming around, although without any ERS, it must be said. Might be enough. Certainly going to be an improvement. 26, 27, 28, 29. 130.2 without ERS. What was that? How do you even do that? I just noticed we've got what appear to be siblings here. We've got Lil Giona and Lil Gissa. Or Gissa, however you say it. Siblings in the field. The scenes if they actually are siblings. Haven't seen that since the 2 Schumacher brothers. Still only 11 drivers have set a time. We've got a couple on outlaps and some going around doing their laps at the minute.
Well, to be honest, 9 with a proper lap time, because those inters are not going to make it for sure.
Just seeing who's coming to the line there. We've got one of the Astons going off there, but they've already both set times. Is that that'll be the Alpines coming around, I think. There's way too many blue cars in F1 nowadays. It's hard to tell who's who.
That's true.
That is Roy, who goes third. And then Mercedes coming in behind. That was Persigili, who goes into the 128, so he's not pulling any punches. It's early days, though. Has he shown his hand already?
Well,
or has he got more in the tank?
For sure he has more in the tank, but I think because it's only Q1, I think it's indeed what you said, very early days to put such a time. Or he's just so good that this is a banker for him. But,
yeah. Sorry, bear with me with the menu. I'm going to see if I can actually change the size of the UI, because that is taking up most of the screen at the minute. On-screen display. Oh! Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
And the game crashed!
Oh, that's very...
So, trying to change the on-screen display when you're spectating apparently crashes the game. Good to...
Well, I'm still in, so I'm gonna try to update with the best times.
Oh, bugger. I just realized this might accidentally pull me in to the race. I just realized that's not going to be... Is that still streaming? That still counts as a stream, doesn't it? Yeah, it's still streaming. I just noticed the notification came up as soon as we exited. Right, let me see if I can get back in here. Join game. Sorry folks, we'll be back with you as soon as possible.
It's still Persigili and P1.
Yep, well, you're basically doing radio commentary for a little bit.
Yeah. It's only the two Red Bulls without a time yet.
Yeah, I don't know why the heads-up display is so massive. Suppose we'll just have to tweak it to hide the user interface.
Bradley goes first. 28.4.
Okay, I think we're... Oh, hold on. Yep, we're back. That's okay.
Lovely. Oh, we're still
Okay. Yep. So, yep, keeping up to date there. Everyone has set time except for Mali, who is on their way round. So this will give us our first indication of who is where.
Gonna be just spun, and both Inter drivers are on softs now. So.
Yeah, realizing that their legendary strat, is probably not going to work.
Yeah. It was a gamble to see if the game.
Well, they ain't got... It may not pay off. They haven't got long left. They've only got 5 minutes.
Yeah, they have put some risk in there.
Mali apparently going purple sector 2. Now, that could still be the glitch, because they never fixed that one, where every driver is somehow able to go purple sector 2.
Yeah, I had that yesterday as well.
Nah, Thomas D, you were just legit that fast, you know. I mean, you got P3. I mean, what more proof do you need? So... Mali up to the line and goes P7. So, as it stands at the minute, after the opening sorties, Gamma B, Jan, Casito, Lil Jissa, and and Little Jissa, we're only losing 4. They are the 4 in the drop zone. A reminder that when this session is done, those 4, 16th to 19th, will be eliminated. And that will be their starting position for the race. And quite I mean, ignoring Gamma B's time, which was obviously set on the inters, it's not a huge gap, although Casito seems to be well shy of what he can be doing. He's a second down off of 17th place, so I assume he had a mistake. So assuming he had a mistake, let me do my maths here, 28, it's roughly 1.8 seconds covers the whole field.
It's not bad, isn't it?
It's not bad. Just trying to look and see who we've got coming around on laps at the minute.
Gamma B just started his first proper lap.
Who just started their first proper lap?
Gamma B, his
Gamma
first
B.
soft lap.
Let me get over to him. There he goes. We'll get on board.
Wow, big moment there.
Saw the wheel having the counter steer. But Gamma B will be fine with that. He likes an aggressive driving style. He will happily wrestle with the car like it's something from the 1970s. And it's looking decent enough so far.
He should get a top 10.
In theory. Again, he doesn't need top 10 in this session. I'm surprised he didn't try on the mediums. If he was only a couple of seconds off on the inters, he should have easily been... Well, that's a surprise. Only P11. It's good enough, but...
As you said, it's not over yet. It's
No, it is not. Well, we're looking at these ones in the bottom part. Little Jissa is on a lap. Currently in 18th. And Little Giona is actually down there as well. I would take you on a run through the track, and I can do, but unfortunately Bahrain is one of those tracks that doesn't actually have any corner names. It's just numbers for each corner, which is rather disappointing.
yes.
Always adds to the character of the track.
Benjo thinks he's safe. He retired in the pits.
Benjo has retired at 1:29.2. I mean, everyone below him would have to find like 6/10 in order to get him down into the drop zone, so he should theoretically be safe. I mean, he probably doesn't have time for another lap anyway, so...
It is a lot, but these are drivers.
Little Jissa to the line, improves to P11, and that knocks Suyan into the drop zone. Suyan has just started his lap. Little Giona is just coming to the end of Sector 1. JTK is improving marginally. Casito is on the lap as well. Who's further ahead? It's JTK will be first to cross the line now of these drop zone drivers. Not quite sure what's happened to the lighting there. That Mercedes is not getting out of the way. That Mercedes... Ooh. Now, whether JTK will want to have a word with the stewards about that, I'm not too sure, but that Mercedes did not get clear in any way, shape, or form.
He left the other Ferrari by cleanly, so...
Is he going to let Casillo through? Yes, he's realised his mistake now. Percy Geely retires from second. He believes he's safe.
Dixie as well.
Dixie as well. And JTK to the line. Does he do enough? He's P9. Next across the line will be Casito. Bradley retires. Catastrophes is actually now on the cusp, as he's starting a lap. Casillo goes to P13, so he's not guaranteed safe either. Catastrophes is starting a lap. Rickety's on his outlap. Rocco retires.
Rocco is going to be close.
He is actually. Suyan coming round now. 1:29.7 to beat. And does. Goes to P9. So now James. And James is in the pits. So James is out. Gamma B is out because they're both in the pits.
So Rickety is now going to start his last lap. He just came out of the pits.
Yep.
So he has to do it now.
So two more drivers that can cause the changes. So it's Lil Gissa and Casito who are at risk at the minute. It all depends on what Catastrophes and Rickety do. Catastrophes will be first to cross the line. And he's got to watch out because these AI drivers are still driving around and they just follow the track and they do not deviate. So if he comes across them, he's going to have a bother.
That would be very nasty.
Just trying to watch the sector time. He's 2/10 up, which would be enough to displace the other drivers and get him into the second session.
Casito now under risk, but
I think Casito's going to go, and
I'm afraid. But he is at the back of him. He can still.
And Catastrophes does go. Casito is out unless he's on a lap. Nope, Casito's pulled into the pits. Casito is out. It's all down to Rickety. I was close to going off the track.
I honestly expect him to be in the top 15 at least, and the lap seems good. So
The Alpha Tauris praying right now that Rickety makes a mistake or invalidates. It's 22 seconds. It's going to be close. It's not going to be the cleanest run. 28, 29. Oh, just it was close.
21 thousandths.
Or 200ths if you are Roman
Yeah.
Catholic. Yeah, Rickety cutting that incredibly fine, and Lil Gissa will probably feel quite hard done by, but a valiant effort. Every driver in the 129s, with the
The same
exception
team
of
as,
Persigeely and Bradley. That's how close it was, and that was just Q1. So, we have lost Gamma B, James Taylor, Casito NL, and Little Gissa. Those four will make up the back four slots on the grid. What a thriller of a session, and that was only the first one.
Fun fact: Rickety just posted the exact time as his teammate in 14.
Huh. Neat. So both he and yes, because should explain, because Rocco said it first, he goes further up ahead. So if that had been for 15th and 16th, Rickety would have been eliminated by his teammate. So, first blood to Bradley, as you said. Persigeely only 3.5 tenths behind him. Jan, Narista, Benjo, Roy, Tixi, Lil Giona, iCrazy, and Suyan making up the top 10. Mali, JTK, Catastropheus, Rocco, and Rickety live to fight another day, and a reminder we have lost Little Gissa, Casito, James Taylor, and Gamma B. And look how close it was. Between the safe zone and last place is half a tenth. Half a tenth between safety and the back of the field. That's how close this pro grid is.
That's what you want to see.
So you predicted correctly, Thomas. First blood to Leonard. Can anyone challenge him, do you feel, or?
Well, looking at the first qualifying, well, Persigeely might, but Bradley is a few tenths away, so they have to do.
Thomas, buddy, you wouldn't mind doing me a favour? Would you check the YouTube comments just in case anyone's reporting any problems with the stream or any comments?
Nothing at the moment.
That's okay. It just felt like the engine was a bit loud. In fact, what I may do is just turn my in-game audio down just a little bit.
One of the drivers that eliminated said, "I mistimed my run with ERS."
Ah. So easy to do. ERS is a very powerful tool on this year's game. As we have drivers heading out on the track, we have iCrazy leading them away. But it looks like he's immediately going to move over and let the Haas of Tixi through. I notice none of them have changed their helmet. We're all wearing yellow helmets. Nice little Ayrton Senna look. So, the initial shock of racing again is over. Now we start to get a bit more serious. Not that we weren't serious before, but you know what I mean.
To survive.
And I think what we'll do is we'll go for an onboard with Tixi's first lap.
Sure.
Whoever came through first.
The Haas, yeah. Okay.
Yep, so it'll be the Haas through first. Very briefly, just before they start, yep, everyone on the soft compound tires, no more messing about. Get the telemetry up for you. You can see nice little input, gears, speed, RPM, ERS percentage, and their brake and throttle inputs. And we go on board with Tixi as they come out of turn 15. It's not really a turn, but it gets classified anyway. And down this long back straight, DRS open as we begin our lap. And you gain such speed here, well over 200 miles an hour. And then a really harsh, heavy braking zone down to second gear for this long right-hander that seems to go on forever. Don't be too overzealous on the throttle. If you clip that curb on the inside of turn 2, it will spin you. And then a little kink onto another DRS straight as we head down to turn 4. Another very long right-hander. Again, don't pick up the throttle too early, you will regret it. Leading to this wiggly downhill section of 5 and 6. We have seen drivers battle side by side here. Watch the curb on the inside. It is raised, and that one can hook you and straight line you towards turn 8. A nice right-hander hairpin. Good chance to get some overtaking if you get the braking right. And then down into the tricky turn 10. You want to ease on the brakes actually surprisingly early, because if you go too late you will go onto the curb and it will trap your car and send you into the barriers. Along past the motorbike starting grid as we head down to turn 11. Ride the curb into the left-hander. Carry it to the outside. Don't go to the inside too early. You will pick up the marbles, which are a really big thing on this year's game, and you will lose traction. Be as brave as you dare going up the hill, and then this surprisingly awkward right-hander of 13. You can carry more speed than you think you can, but watch out for the car bottoming out at the top of the hill. Another long straightaway before heading down to 4th gear in this case. Some drivers choose to take it in 3rd through 14 and 15 and then get on the power, open DRS as soon as it's available and across the line, and Tixie does a 29.4. Right behind them. The Red Bull there's a Red Bull coming out. iCrazy does a 29.9. Rickety a 30.03. That wasn't brilliant. Jan will be next to cross the line and goes on to the fastest, 29.2. Benja with a 29.6. Suyan is next and goes fastest again at 29.2. The other McLaren of Rocco now to the line. Goes on to second. Just getting these initial ones out of the way. Lil Giona looking to avenge their sibling, who was knocked out in Q1. P6. Got some more coming down here. Is that Persegili? I think it is. Yes, Persegili is on his outlap. And behind him, I believe that's Roy, who's also on an outlap.
Both Ferraris waiting their first run.
Seeing who else we've got. Yep, both Ferraris and Naras. I don't know how you say that name. Narastaya, I think, in the pits.
Finnish, I guess. Narastaya, I guess.
Narastaya.
Yes.
No, I don't speak Japanese. I know it's not Japanese. I had to do it to him, the meme. Bradley coming down to start his lap. Persegili's on a run. Mali has started their lap, and it's Roy who will be next to cross the line. He's just going through sector 2 now, coming past the motorbike starting grid. Up the hill. Not too sure what the lighting is doing on this game. All the cars appear to be sort of fogged up.
Well, it's not a mind spectating session, so it's weird.
Strange. But
like
Roy coming around to the line. Wait, no, it's Persegili who's next to cross line. How did I miss that? And Persegili goes fastest, knocking on the doors of the 28s. Roy goes P5. Both Ferraris still in the pits. Neither has left yet. Bradley's on his way around, so is Mali. Mali will be next to cross line. Apparently goes purple sector 2, but we'll wait and see if that's true. Around he goes. Nara has just started their lap. Mali goes P8. Not the most comfortable position to be in. Bradley through the final turn.
A lot of curb.
A lot of curb. He's still valid though. And he goes fastest with a 28.7.
It is still a banker lap, but it's already 3 5/10 to P2 and P3.
I mean, it is a banker lap to a point, but he did wait a while to set one, so he's effectively missed a run. So he obviously left with that one planning to make it count. at the minute. Both Ferraris in the drop zone having still not left the pits. Nara is on their lap now. Rickety in the drop zone and iCrazy in the drop zone as well. Rickety's struggling here. He's obviously only just promoted from Challenger, but compared to his teammate Rocco, he's not finding the same pace. Far from it, in fact. And Nara has given up on their lap. So
one of the few without a time, and it's going to count for him now.
Yep, we've got some other drivers coming around. Let me see who else have we got here. That is Roy, he's just on a he did a cooldown and now he's going for another run. So he's on the same set of worn tires. Got a who's that? There's a Red Bull coming in. And the Williams as well. Yep. Jan looks like he's going for his second run. Yep, he did a sort of a cooldown because you can see it's a 2-minute time there. No, it isn't. It's just the game being glitchy with his times. And he didn't improve on that run. He was a 10th down on his previous best. Although P5, he's still reasonably comfortable. Benjo coming around now. Again, apologies for the broken timer in the top right. As Benjo comes to the line, and he improves, but it's not enough to change position. Still 2/10 off of 7th. He was 8th, he remains 8th.
A pretty tricky time, 29.6 if you look at the others.
The safe zone time in the minute is a 29.8 by Lil Girona. iCrazy is on the lap, improves by about a 10th in the middle sector. Which is as Tixie goes fastest. So Bradley has been displaced by a margin. That's 3/10. So Tixie saying, "Have at you, sir."
We didn't expect that one. But
didn't expect that one, absolutely not.
Bradley would definitely come back to that one.
Does iCrazy improve? He does to P8. Lil Girona now in the drop zone. Or Giona, I should say. Rickety still in the pits. Both JTK's on that lap. Catastropheus is still... Wait, I see movement in the Ferrari garage.
There he goes.
He's away. With 5 minutes left, he's only going to get one run. Because by the time you do your cooldown and come back into the pits and get out again, you'll be very tight to do 2 runs. So...
There's not a problem with that, but you have to be confident on that lap.
Well... I wouldn't be taking that risk personally with the level of competitiveness in this field.
Oh, me neither, but maybe he is very confident, and we'll see when he comes out.
I should also point out, if he's listening, I think me and Gamma have cursed each other because Gamma had faith in me, he said, for last night, and I ended up finishing 10th after a disaster with the setup. I believe in Gamma, and he gets knocked out in Q1. Then again, no points for qualifying, as JTK begins his lap. And we'll watch the sector times very closely. Riding on board with the Ferrari driver.
I'm not sure if you missed, but the Aston took P1. So Jan now in P1.
Yep. Only just by literally 100th. Nara is on an out lap. Giona and Rickety have not left the pits yet, but if they leave now, they should be good. Or within the next 30 seconds, I'd say. You don't really want to leave it any later than just beyond the 3-minute mark, because you don't know if you're going to encounter traffic or have to slow down to let people through on your out lap. You don't want to leave it too late. It's the risk you run.
Rickety's playing it risky today, but he did it last session. Maybe he does it again.
Oh, and JTK's invalidated.
Ouch.
And he has no ERS. He's down to 30%. He'll not have enough to do another hot lap run. It might all come crashing down, but he's boxing. Now, if he's incredibly quick, he may just have enough.
We'll keep an eye on that one, but...
Catastropheus. Now, hold on. He started his lap, but he's backing off. I wonder if he's... Is he planning to get a slipstream from his teammate?
Just between check limits.
He hasn't invalidated. Nara's on a lap. Let's see what she can do. Rickety is on outlap. Lil Giona still in the pits. That's a purple sector 1 apparently for Nara. And I see movement from Lil Giona. She's moving in. I say she, it sounds like a girl's name, so could be a girl. We don't know.
Not gonna lie.
Could be a girl, could be a boy. Could be an attack helicopter. As Tixie retires.
Could be everything.
Pretty
these
sure
days.
they're safe. Benjo also retires. Oh, Nara, that was close to invalidation there. You don't want to go too wide over that curb. Just get a time on the board.
Well, at this stage of the session, you need the track extension, so it's all or nothing for him, I guess.
I suppose it is. So these guys still have a chance to improve. So quite a few drivers actually at risk here. Not least of which is Rocco, who was miles ahead of his teammate and is now knocking on the drop zone. So is I Crazy. Nara to the line. Goes P3. I Crazy now in the drop zone.
P3.
Catastro is going for an actual run this time now. Who else have we got on the lap? Is Rocco on the lap? Yes, he is. Suyan is on the lap, is also Suyan's invalidated, so they have to hope that no one improves. Mali's on the lap. Rocco to the line. Doesn't improve unless he's going for an actual proper. He's going for a proper run this time. I Crazy also starting.
McLaren may surprise very late.
Yep, Catastropheus. JTK is on his outlap. 50 seconds to go around. He should make it, but he'll have to go some.
That would be nice if he makes that.
What tension at the end of this session. So
it's
it's
not even Q3 yet.
Yep, it's Castro as Lil Giona. It's a 29.805. It's not enough. But again, she's got ERS. Again, she was going slow. They're all doing essentially an extra warm-up lap on these tires to make sure they have maximum grip.
Katas, the first to cross the line, by the way.
Yep, we're watching him now. He's 15 seconds up on his previous best, which is a 32. So it's nowhere near enough still. Although it's measuring by each sector, I suppose. Can the Maranello team get out of Q2? We didn't think we'd be asking this. No, it's only P12. Next across the line is Rickety, I think. Yes, it is Rickety.
Ew.
As Bradley goes on to the fastest. Rickety only gets P12. Rickety's out. Rocco improves to P7.
And it's Shuyan on the...
I Crazy goes to P8.
And it's Shuyan out, but he is on the lap.
He is on the lap, he's improving slightly. Lil Giona is also on the lap and has improved by half a second apparently. So Mali and Roy are the two on the cusp, and JTK as well. So I Crazy might not be safe yet. Lil Giona to the line.
Will Ferrari be last? Yes,
Oh, it's only 11th! Misses out by half a tenth. Suyan's in the wall.
Ouch! Oh, that's... Oh.
That's it over. It's all down to JTK. Is Mali safe?
Oh, that would be very disappointing for Red Bull, though. Looking where Bradley is.
It's going to be a brave effort. Is it enough? No, it's only P14. Mali is safe.
Ahead of his teammate, though, but...
the two Ferraris not only knocked out, but making up only the 14th and 15th place. Rickety in 13th, Suyan 12th, and Lil Giona just missing out in 11th.
Someone in the chat is reminding us that Giona is with the L, not the I. So
oh, Glona. Lil Glona. I prefer Giona, to be honest. Sounds Italian, but fine. Glona. So Little Glona, whatever, it makes little difference as they are out of qualifying. Do you like that segue there? So, there's your top 10 for the shootout. Covered by just under 8/10. Bradley wins the second round. Jan chasing him. Tixie in third. Nara fourth. Persegili fifth. Benjo 6th, Rocco 7th, I Crazy 8th, Roy 9th, and Mali in 10th. And a reminder, we have lost Little Glona, Suyan, Rickety, JTK, and Catastropheus.
We do have all the Scandinavian drivers in the top 10 except for Rickety itself.
Yeah.
A lot of Scandinavians in it.
I don't know if it's fair to say it's a surprise that Rickety's out, because, no offense to him, but like, you know, he was battling Challenger all those previous years. Pro is a big step up. A big step up. So, it's only the first race, you know?
He made it to Q2, so it's good enough, I think, at this stage. And again, he can work his way up in the race.
Yeah, that's true. As we begin Q3.
So we have 3 teams, no, only 2 teams with both cars, Red Bull and Aston.
And we are underway. Just gonna open up our team radios, by which I mean Discord. Everyone on the softs, unsurprisingly. And let's see what's being posted, unless I don't think I have access to the pro chat.
Me neither, so that's
So we won't be able to see what people are saying. If Rickety's listening in, if he could give permissions for us to see the pro chats, that would be good. Any comments on YouTube there for us, Thomas?
no, still the Glona, the Glona recovery. But maybe you're lucky and someone is saying something in general chat, so you might pick up.
Nah, I'm afraid it doesn't look like. Just Rezer saying he wanted to be a reserve here today, but his permissions are messed up, so he didn't actually see the message.
And that's that.
He clees every time. So, what the? Am I the only one seeing a safety car out on track?
Oh wow.
What the?
Where are you seeing that? Oh wow, wow. Oh. Well, I had that once before, but that was 2 games ago.
Molly? Well, clearly the other drivers can't see it because they're just driving through it. Bert Mylander has just decided to take his cloaking device.
He wanted to give his Aston Martin friends a slipstream there.
Yeah, oh, we're jumping about a bit here. Are we getting some lag? Please tell me we're not desyncing. Benja apparently...
Oh, I don't see him, to be honest, so it's you again.
What the heck is going on? Who's going to finish their lap first here? Roy's on out lap. Bradley on out lap. We've got Mercedes facing the wrong way. That'll be Perseguili. No way, he's just pulled over there.
Rickety's saying it's sorted, so you can see the pro chat now, I think.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Rickety. It looks like first one to set a lap time will be... Sorry, just trying to... Well, it was going to be Tixie, but they've gone well wide. So it shouldn't I be iCrazy setting the first lap time here.
So what are your predictions? Who's gonna take pole in your eyes?
I mean, Bradley has won the first two, got the first 2 rounds under his belt. You'd have to say he would be odds on to do it, but it's been close a couple of times. Tixie was a surprise. iCrazy as well.
Well, I'll still go with Bradley, I think, but we'll see.
Okay, if you could, Rickety, if you're listening, I can see now. I see the Pro Series registrations. I can't see the Pro chat. I can't see Pro chat, which is what I need to be seeing. Unfortunately.
Bradley now about to set his first lap. Oh, that wasn't no track limits.
Nope, he's bailing. He's bailing for the pits.
Seemed like track limits, but it's not. But he still went into the pits.
As Nara now chasing down the Ghost safety car. I'm bumping her way through it.
Still there?
As she goes, yeah, it's still there on my screen. You can probably see it on stream.
Oh yeah, there you got it. What the hell?
Burt Mylander's having a great time.
Well, he's leaving the race line, so he gives the car some space.
As they are jumping about a bit. I wonder if there is maybe a bit of desync on our end. Hopefully it'll resolve itself for the race. Who else is on lap? Jan is on a lap at the minute. Persigili now coming round. He will be next to complete a lap. So at the minute it's Benjo on pole. But that is, of course, very early days. Although they are starting to bring out their A game now. 28.7s, 28.8s.
That is a surprise for Benjo, but remember, Narastaya was...
And Persigili, ooh, only just nipping pole by
wow,
700ths. As Benjo makes his way round, we've now got Roy on his lap. Although he's charging, I think he made a mistake and backed off.
And Benjo invalidated.
Yeah, but he's charging at the minute. Who else have we got?
Alpine about to cross the line. Roy?
No, that is Roy. He's not setting an actual lap, I don't think. He'll not be representative. Narista's on her way in.
Nara leaving the Aston by.
Jan's going to set his lap now. As he comes to the line. And it is pole. 128.3.
That's a big time.
That is a big time. Now it's not the first time we've seen a 28.3. Bradley, but Bradley may have some competition here for pole. Who else have we got going round? Mali's on an outlap. So is Bradley. Tixie now starting their run.
Aston Martin looking good here.
So far, let's not jinx it. And we've got one down in 6th as well, so... Well, let's find out who's the Fernando Alonso and who's the Lance Stroll in this relationship. Apparently purple sector 1 for Tixie.
At the moment, they're the best constructor.
That is true. One of only 2 teams to have both of their drivers in Q3, the other being the Red Bull.
Exactly.
So for the constructors that bodes very well.
But of course, no time yet for half of the field, so...
That's true, surprisingly, actually, and we can't actually see how long is left in the session because the Aston Martin appears to have run out of fuel behind, hence why we have constant yellow flags. Purple sector 2 for Tixie, apparently. Bradley is on his lap as well. Final corner. Taking it in 4th, which is surprising. I've seen a lot of drivers go down to 3rd for that corner. Tixie will come to the line and only 2nd. That's surprising. A 10th down. Must have been too cautious in that final corner. Bradley.
Well, you can go earlier on the power.
You can, yes. Mali next to cross the line. The first of the Red Bulls. We've got just under 4 minutes to go. P3 for Mali. What can Bradley do? Rocco is also not coming out yet. He's just come out now.
Wow.
Oh, that was scruffy. Didn't invalidate though, but a bit scruffy. Will that cost him pole? No, it will not. 27.9.
This man, every time, if someone is putting up a time that might be competitive, he's like, nah, let's put a bit...
Look, Max Verstappen, we get it. You're waiting for the race on Sunday. Can you please get out of this fecking server? You're literally driving a Red Bull and blasting the field away. Come on. Come on, man. Be fair. Who else? So Rocco coming round for his probably one chance to improve on his position. Roy's on outlap. Ixie on an outlap as well. Nara is starting their run. Mali will be on a cooldown. Tixie will be on a cooldown. Bradley will be on a cooldown. That might be their one chance. I think that's their one chance done. Law Driver seem to be going for one and done. Let's see what Nara can do. Oh, lag a little bit apparently is what they can do. Just sort of teleported back a little bit there. And thank you, cameraman.
But still ghosted there.
I haven't seen the safety car for a while. Has Bert Mylander finally got bored? No, wait, there he is. Just saw him in the distance. He just went over the crest of the hill. Nara, there he goes. Nara's going to catch up to him. There he is.
So will he be there the full race? Will it be
Stop
the
that
first
safety
race
car.
with a full safety car?
Jesus. Bert, get off the track. I mean, it doesn't seem to be affecting the drivers in the actual game. Whether it's what's causing the lag with our stream here, because it's trying to compensate for a car passing through another one, I'm not too sure.
I don't think they see that. I think I'm
Probably
afraid you're the only
not.
one with it.
Tixie's going on an outlap now, apparently. Mali retires, they're done, so it'll be P4 at best for them.
Yeah.
I don't think Tixie's going to have time to get round. There's 1 minute 10 left in the session. As Nara goes to second.
Well, he might just, because I already had 4 corners now. There's one. Wow.
No, but Tixie,
that's
no,
gonna
Tixie
be-
just left the pits not too long ago.
Okay.
Benjo to the
Right,
line. He's starting his lap.
Yep.
Roy is slightly down on sector 1. Crazy up by a 10th, but they're already half a second down on 8th place, so they'll have to find a bit more time than that.
Jan starting now.
Rocco goes P8.
That's not bad.
Not bad. Not bad for a Challenger driver. Former
Exactly.
Challenger driver, I should say. Bradley is not coming out again. He thinks he's done enough. I mean, Nara kept him honest. Less than 2/10 behind. Just trying to see who's coming up to the line. It'll be the...
Tixie, will he make it?
How long's left? 4 seconds? 3? No, he's not. And not with a spin like that. He's done.
Oh. Wow.
Tixie's done. Didn't make it round. So P4 for Tixie.
Roy? Goes P5.
Goes P5. The Aston Martin of iCrazy actually is half a second up. P7.
So Rocco's still in 10th.
Rocco
now.
down to 10th. Nara's coming back around to the pits. Is that Benjo?
Well, he
That's
did a good
Benjo.
job.
He's
P2 for
2/10
Nara.
up. And fifth right the way down to 9th is all in the same 10th bracket. So Benjo could shoot up here and goes P4.
Wow. Good job there from the Alfa Romeo, the only Alfa Romeo
Yep.
in this race, because it's the only car we missed.
Here comes Jan. Should be an improvement behind March. And it is, but it's not enough to change position. 28-2. The only one left who can cause any sort of disruption now is Persegili.
He can do something.
He can do something. He's P9 at the minute and he goes... I didn't see that there.
Oh, me neither. I think 5 or
P4.
4.
P4.
So it's Tixie down to P6 with that miscalculation.
Well, that was close. They're all within a second of each other. But it's Bradley who gets pole,
Amazing.
followed by Nara, Jan, Persegili, Benjo, Tixie, Roy, Mali, iCrazy, and Rocco in 10th place. Well, that was that felt like a real F1 qualifying with how close it was. That was very good.
Yeah. And the gap to Bradley is closer than I would expect, to be honest.
Yep. There we go. We've got Tier Chat Pro. Let's see what's happening. Casito pointing out about the safety car. Benjo getting mad that Bradley got a 27.9. James saying, why would Rowe race here? We should call ET here. He's out of this world. Bradley go to PSGL already. Pole for Tier 1 PSGL was 27.2. Suyan saying he was just 8/10 faster than my best time trial ever.
Oh no, wait, no, I would have.
So yeah, saying he should have stayed in
Oh
Challenger.
shit! I'm gonna have to retire the race.
So yeah, saying I'm making my teammate feel humiliated with the difference between us. So it's all good. It's all good banter in the chat, but now we're into actual racing. Now the gloves come off, or rather they go on, I should say. And this is for points. This is for prizes. This is for the championship.
Lars.
Yes.
Because I joined later, I do have the second Alfa Romeo, so I'm gonna have to retire as soon as the lights go off.
Did you not pit spectate on the?
Well, I did, but
Right. No, don't retire on track because you could cause a safety car. Go around to the pits. Just stay back from the actual group, and they're underway. There was no formation lap, which surprised me.
yeah, that surprised me as well there.
Bradley away cleanly. Nara seems to be defending from Jan. Jan to the outside is already ahead of Nara. Can he hold the position? Looks like they're all through cleanly behind. And indeed they are. As you pull away, Thomas. Go around and retire in the pits for me, please.
I'm doing that.
So, Bradley leads from Jan, who did get ahead of Narasta. Tixie 4th, Mali 5th, Persigili 6th. We've got contact at the back. Looks like Rickety somehow made his way up to 10th. Rocco down to 15th. He was the McLaren that we saw going backwards. Don't think there was any damage, but there was obviously a bit of contact of some kind. And Rocco going in there very hot. Too hot, in fact. That's the Haas of Casito, finding all sorts of bother. He's dropping down like a stone as you see the race strategies popping up there. And come to think of it, we'll actually bring up the details in a second. There's your position changes. Big winner off the line there is Gamma, who's gone up 8 places to 11th. Biggest loser, Benjo, down 7. He's down to 12th.
Rocco didn't have a good start.
Rickety, on the other hand, did. He's up 3. But Bradley has done exactly what he needs to do. Looking at the tyres, we've got a bit of a mixture. Bradley on the mediums. Most of the ones behind him on hards, right down to 7th place. Catastrophe is taking a gamble and starting on the softs. JTK and Rickety on the hards. As Rocco gets past Little Glissa. And so is James Taylor, because Little Glissa is in the pits. JTK gets ahead of Rickety. Bit of a mixture of tyre compounds there. No penalties off the line. And let's see what is happening. What is happening down the back? That is Casito. He's fallen well back already. We've got 3 cars in the pits. Lil Glissa,
2.
who is not moving. Suyan is getting a change of front wing, and Thomas, well done, retiring in the pits. Sorry for the mix-up there, bud.
No worries.
But anyway, back to the front. The gap from Bradley to Jan is apparently already a second, although it doesn't really look like a second to me. Oh well, maybe now actually. So Bradley thinking, what I've got to do is get on these mediums. Maybe everyone else is trying to get the slower tyre out the way. Get out of DRS range. And just try and pull out a gap and manage the gap. Jan just within a second. Nara also within a second just behind him. Then Tixie. Persigili is actually outside of DRS range at the minute. Mali, iCrazy, Catastrophe is up to 8th, Rickety 9th, Gamma B 10th, but under pressure from Benjo, who will ride on board with Nye.
Yeah, looking at the positions gained, it's Gamma B plus 9 and Skatas plus 7, so those
it's a shame we can't get a replay of the start as Bradley sets the fastest lap on the mediums, understandably so. But there was definitely some sort of bottlenecking at the back. Suyan must have been involved in it at some point because he lost his front wing. As did Lil Glissa. But I'm not exactly sure what caused the initial bottleneck. As Benjo does get past Gamma B and into the points. And they're starting to settle down a little bit. Closest gap on track at the minute as Casito and James both pitting. I didn't see yellow, so I think this is maybe just a gamble on the tactics. Closest gap at the minute is Roy chasing down JTK for 12th. And Bradley has left the building. He is 1.7 clear at the front. As we get this lovely over-the-shoulder shot.
A few cars in the pits already.
Yeah, we've had Yeah, basically everyone from 16th down has been in the box already. And
we
we've
have
got
someone else?
yellows, that's Casito. And he's lost his front wing. Cold, hard tyres.
Well, there has been a Haas in the wall there earlier.
Casito said he had tweaked his setup. We did the setups all together, and whatever way he's tweaked it, he's clearly not happy with it. I think that might be his race run and done. Because by the time he gets back round, he will probably be lapped.
Dixie now close to the podium. He will attack.
Yep, indeed they are. DRS train, but it looks like Tixie has a lower downforce setup. And Narista going to the outside of Jan, who is harvesting. Gets squeezed wide. Tixie will try and take advantage. Thinks better of it, but will get the better exit. DRS for both of them. And oh, that's close. Tixie going alongside. Nara is ahead coming into the corner, so if it comes down to it, Tixie should yield, but Tixie does pull ahead, going side by side here, and Nara has to cede the position. Well played by Tixie. Up to third, but Nara's coming back at him. Looks to the outside, tries for the switchback. We've got yellows. That's Benjo. Benjo's out.
That was a big hit.
And that was Ixie must have hit him.
Well, yeah. Where's the wall? There's no wall there. So
No, Ixie smashed into him because they got a 5-second penalty. So I can only assume what happened is Benjo spun on the hill section and Ixie just couldn't, or iCrazy I should say, just couldn't take avoiding action. And there's no slap with a 5-second penalty. Now, if there was no way for them to move aside, maybe they could get that removed after the race. I don't know what the policy will be on that. And it doesn't look like there's much damage. Yeah, there's no damage to that front wing actually. That Aston Martin is indestructible. But Benjo, our first official retirement of the race, and that is now.
I'm afraid he won't get rid of the penalty as he still has to pit. And normally.
And there's no safety car, and Casito has been lapped.
Yeah, that's his second stop.
Yeah, well, he had no front wing, but he was probably hoping and begging for a safety car to come from that. He's now on the grass. He's got to let the entire field through, basically.
That's gonna hurt.
Poor old Casito. As Catastrophe is... Oh, this is a good battle. Little Glona got passed by iCrazy.
Three-man battle for
The
P8.
three-man battle for P7, 8, and 9 here. Gamma B winning out on that one. Catastrophe is still there. Has to back out of it. These guys all raced in Challenger. It's the old Challenger crew coming together again. Gamma, Rickety, and Catastrophe as Tixie loses out on second place to Jan. Bradley running incredibly wide there. Not sure, but this is a close battle at the front.
Yeah, Bradley's gone, but the rest is just fighting for.
Yeah, well, they probably thought, well, unless I mean, they're keeping him still somewhat honest. Remember, he is on the faster compound tyre, and the difference between medium and hard is night and day. So, if the hards are as bad as we see him, then Bradley will struggle later on. So the gap he's building now is not just for the sake of it. He needs a gap that big. As Jan tries to defend from Tixie. And Persigili's also coming into this battle. This is all for second place. And a boatload of points.
Second Red Bull also now because of the fights. So.
Yep, because Jan's harvesting. He's burnt everything. Jan has nothing to respond with. Tixie harvesting into the corner. And does get second place. Now, what can Nara do as Roy gets past Catastropheus on the DRS straight? Jan's coming back and does get through. He's saving his ERS for that shorter straight.
Collision.
Slight collision, possibly.
Tixie
and Nara.
Really bothered by that.
Yep.
Hard and close fighting here. Would love to see it.
And ironically now, Casito appears to be finding a little bit of pace. He's not been lapped by the rest of the field so far, but he's going to have to get out of the way as the two Ferraris do a tactical swap of positions there. Jan looking a little more comfortable at this stage.
Not working out. McLaren tried to overtake both Ferraris there,
Rocco, yep.
But he didn't make that.
Turn 10, it's not the easiest place in the world to overtake. As Catastropheus lets JTK through, but accidentally lets Rocco through as well. Rocco takes it too deep though, and Catastropheus does hold the position. So a bit of a tactical swap there. Ooh!
I have a small feeling that there is going to be a collision soon. This.
It was early. Obviously, Castro thinking. I mean, it's lap 7. Those softs will be going, so he's realised I don't have the pace anymore. I might as well try and protect my teammate.
Rocco.
And there was a bit of a bump there. Unlucky 13, Catastropheus, and here comes I Crazy.
This is going to be 4 wide? No, not really.
4 wide? No, well, possibly, because Lil Glona is out of nowhere there. Oh, this is going to end in tears. This is going to end in tears.
Now they went double file. Oh, good.
Oh, that's close. I Crazy does survive. Rocco, very close to touching Lil Glona. But they all somehow make it through unscathed. How the hell they did that, I have no idea.
Rocco a little bit too greedy on the power, so he's down to 14th.
Yep. Catastropheus will start to struggle now on those softs. He was the only one on softs, and they do not last very long at all. Meanwhile, back at the front, 3.6 the gap, which actually hasn't increased by a super huge amount since we last saw it. It's starting to increase a little bit now. But then it comes down again. So Bradley maybe finding that the mediums are dying a bit quicker than he thought as well, because the hards are keeping him honest. 3.3 the gap now. So the hard compound tire starting to come good.
I know from yesterday that the mediums are indeed, they are not working as long as you want.
Yeah, neither. So I don't think any tire is. Tire tag around this track is worse than everyone thought it was going to be, I think.
Yeah.
And yep, those hard runners are closing in. 3.1 the gap over the line. So Bradley, the gap that he was hoping to build has not come to fruition. It's a bit of a cushion, but it might not be enough, especially if he's going to be coming out on cold hards. As up front, Tixie tries to get past Jan, but it doesn't happen. And has to back out of it.
Yeah,
now.
Tixie, but he's coming back now.
ERS and DRS. Down at 25%. They're all burning through so much of their ERS. Even Bradley, though. I thought Bradley was managing his gap at the front, but he's down to 10% ERS. Bradley is trying everything he can to build out the gap, and it's just not happening. It's just not happening.
Even with the fights behind, he's not managing to get...
Yeah, this is surprising. I mean, you got the initial pull away, which was great, but those mediums are dying and dying. And I remind you, this is the mediums in clean air. It's not like he's got a car in front providing dirty air and overheating the tires.
No,
They're just struggling now.
Sorry for interrupting, but it's JTK. He had a little spin there.
It is JTK. There's close battles all throughout the field here. And Rocco and Catastropheus and Lil Glona, there's battles all the way through the field.
There's just not... there's fights everywhere.
Indeed.
Rickety is fighting with both Alpines, and Ferraris are fighting with the other McLaren, so...
We've got lovely little pockets of battles everywhere.
And it's all clean.
Oh, Glona with a penalty. I Crazy, I think, has a... unless they're 5 seconds from earlier. What's happening on board here? Tixie forced to the outside by Jan, who takes the inside line. Good defensive driving from Jan, but he will not get the correct line for the next corner. He's still there. Watch him. But he does get DRS. See, this is what he does. He sacrifices himself in turn 1 to get the run on this shorter straight, and it pays off. That Aston, whatever way it's set up, has brilliant acceleration. And Tixie is denied for another lap. And all the time that they're battling, Bradley he's eking the gap out again now. 3.6 the gap. We've got yellows in sector 1. That's a McLaren. That's Rickety.
Oh, what did he do?
No,
oh no.
He's still got a wing. I think he just spun. Maybe a slight touch of a car that sent him round. The car appears to be intact. As Lil Glona to the inside. She's had enough of this. Or he's had enough of it. They've had enough of this because they've just said, get out of my way, you stupid prancing horse. Because Catastropheus, I think he knows his tires are dead. He's just trying to hold up people as much as he can for the sake of his teammate.
Rickety wants to get by them soon because he needs to make up for that mistake there.
He does, absolutely. It's not going the way of McLaren at the minute.
Well, Rickety had a good start.
Oh, up at the front.
What happened there?
Right. Tixie. Now, has
Again?
Tixie learned their lesson? Apparently not. They're using ERS. What would be smart to do is just to try and stay behind for this part.
should be it.
and get the DRS on this first race, although going well clear this time. Can they get the run?
Persikili not making...
Oh, that was a nice clean exit. Tixie may survive this time. And they will do.
He got it.
Tixie's done it. Tixie has learned. Tixie up to P2. This is
Mali
great.
cannot really get closer.
We've only just passed the third distance and we've had battles non-stop so far in this race. This has been great to watch.
And all fair so far, I think. So
I swear, every time we do one of these leagues, it just gives me more reason to want F1 to become a spec series. Like, look at this with equal cars. This is great.
yeah.
So we've effectively got.
I'm sure not the only one that wants that.
So we've effectively got 3 different little groups here. We've got sort of the front runners, we've got a mid pack here, and then unfortunately the ones who had to pit early on, including poor old Casito, who is in the middle of the field but is actually positioned 18th because he has been lapped.
Sorry to keep you up with the chat. Benjo is saying the safety car is off, and he's asking who made the lobby. I think Banjo is not that happy with...
Wait, who said safety car was off?
Banjo?
I mean, how does he know? Ghosting off, safety car... Yep, oh, he's actually screenshot. Yep, safety car is off. Formation lap is off, red flags are off. What is this?
Banjo saying, yeah.
Yeah, okay, and he's got evidence there. I don't know who the host was, but there will be an investigation after this, certainly. Because
that's why Tixie or how is it called? It's crazy hits Benjo because there was no ghosting.
Yeah, and well, I mean, I think ghosting is off by default because we are league racing. We do try to make it like real life, but safety car should be on. And I wouldn't be surprised if this does affect the result because Casito. You know, you would imagine for a smash like that there should have been a safety car, and if that had been the case, Casito would have been able to recover. He's currently a lap down, potentially because there was no safety car. As Roy makes his way past James Taylor, he's on the hards. Thought it said he was on the sauce for a second there. Let's check the number of stops we've got. Just everyone from 13th down at the minute. Casito's the only one on the softs because he thinks he may as well take a gamble. But then he's probably doing it on the understanding that he's gambling on a safety car. But he can't gamble on a safety car because it's not on. And,
and he's a lap down, so even if it was on, he couldn't get past.
Well, no, but apparently they do have a thing now where they allow lapped cars through. As Gammaby gets 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane.
We do have Alpine in the pit.
We've got a great battle going on, which is good to see. But it's going to be somewhat blighted by whoever the host was because they have not set this lobby up correctly. As further back down the order, JTK battling with iCrazy and Rocco. These three arging and barging their way through. iCrazy winning out there. Rocco still side by side with JTK. And now we've got Lil Glona also joining in, and Rickety in a 5-car scrap. Maybe make it 4-car now. iCrazy is getting away. Rocco does get ahead on the entrance to turn 10. Oh, and he gets hit by JTK. And there's a cavalcade of cars because they all bump into one another. That's going to be a penalty coming JTK's way.
Rickety said thank you very much. He's back in 8th.
He did, yes, but unfortunately at the expense of his teammate. That's going to be a penalty for JTK. He was not quick enough on the brakes. That was entirely his fault. I'm sorry to say. Because, now hopefully it hasn't caused any damage, in which case it'll be a very light penalty. It'll probably be a 5 seconds. But considering where he is, that could cost him any points he was hoping to get today. But he's still in the battle right now. And speaking of battles, Tixie... How is Tixie behind Jan again? When did this happen? Casito has given up the ghost, understandably. I think he's heard that there's no safety car, and he realizes there's no hope now. So
Well,
I
that's
mean,
gonna be a thing.
I mean, can you blame him?
No.
I mean, if there's no safety car, he's literally just driving around to say, "Oh well, I got 18th." He'll not be able to improve unless
Exactly.
he'd only get points if 8 other drivers DNF'd.
Benjo says his crash probably would have caused a safety car, but
Yeah. And his AI has pulled out on track because of course it has.
big fight going on with
Hang
Katas.
on, just seeing, has the Haas moved off? Yes, it has. That's okay. Haas has moved off. Who are we looking at here? Sorry.
Katas just overtook Roy on the main straights.
Oh well, yep. There we go. That's for P13. JTK and Lil Glona battling away, and Rickety, yep, Rickety is, and he's gone well wide as Rickety.
Doesn't want to hit the curb to avoid spinning.
Yep. I mean, he maybe got a warning for that, as Lil Glona looks to the inside. That would be a brave move if that had ever been done. Benjo has left the session, but he retired anyway, so that doesn't really matter too much. Casito has also left the session. Hard luck for those two. It's a rough day at the office. And it could be rougher for some other people as well. The field's starting to spread out a little bit into these little pockets. iCrazy sort of being that borderline between the two of them. 10 seconds between iCrazy and Mali, who himself is 6 seconds behind Persegili. So it's the top 5 really in one scrap of their own, and then we've got a little scrap going on between Lil Glona and Rickety, who does get past Rickety, albeit carrying...
Not getting any closer to the fight ahead, even with the lots of fights going on there.
Yeah, albeit with a 3-second penalty, we must remind you. And you can't really dispute that. If you've gone outside of the track, you've gone outside of the track. The only way you could really dispute it is if you had to go off the track to take avoiding action. But I don't think that was the case. iCrazy could certainly appeal their penalty, 5 seconds for hitting Benjo. But if the car wasn't ghosting and they had nowhere to go, then there might be grounds for that. But then they've got to pit as well, and then that means they'll serve their 5 seconds. And I think the steward's general ruling is once you've served the penalty, it cannot be removed. If I recall correctly, although whether the ruling has changed on that, I'm not too sure. Meanwhile, these 4, Jan down to Persegili, are still all inseparable.
Still in the same positions. And they're all going in, except for... No, only Jan is going in.
Jan is the first to pit. And that
I thought they were all going into the pits, but they were just following the slipstream.
So... And that's surprising, because Jan was on the hard compound tyre. He's obviously burned away too much of that by battling. Bradley is still cracking on with his mediums. And he's taking it over half distance. Surely he's not going to try and hold on to get the softs, is he? I mean, he's still pulling out a gap. It's 5.2 the gap now. No way Bradley's able to take this to the softs, surely.
That would be absolutely master. But
if he does, then he's literally Max Verstappen.
well, he's very similar then, yes. But this is gonna hurt Jan, to be honest, because he now came out behind the Ferrari, which he already passed, and Lil Glona, but he is gonna lose some time in comparison with the 3 who didn't pit yet.
But I say, is this an overcut or an undercut track? Not 100% sure myself.
I was thinking about the tyre wear. This is better for undercutting it.
As Bradley does pit now.
Yeah, that's it for the medium. For sure he's going for the hard. Yes, it is. Just behind his teammate, so they might play out a little.
Let's see where Bradley comes out. Yep, just behind his teammate. He is ahead.
Oh no, not just behind, I was saying, but quite a gap. Just behind the Astons.
He's cleared Jan.
Well, the gap is closer between Bradley and Jan, like it was before, right?
So. The question is now, what will the top 3 do to respond? Overcut does seem to be the way to go. And
if Crazy is so friendly to give him the DRS and stuff, he might get really close to Bradley.
Trying to work this all out here, folks. Gap at the minute is...
Whoa, his teammate is actually in his way now. He's not helping him. He's just fighting him. It's not good for Jan, but he's now ahead. No problem for Aston Martin here.
What about our front runners? Are they pitting?
Yep.
Persegili pits.
And now
Oh!
for the lead.
And he spun coming into the pits.
Oh, I did not see that, but
It wasn't a full spin. It was like a half spin. He blew up the braking board, and the car obviously reset the track as he hit the line. But that's cost him dear. That'll cost Persegili. Mali's also in the pits.
Rear locking, maybe.
Probably yes. So Bradley now 16 seconds behind and closing. So I think they've missed their window of opportunity. I think Tixie
overtook Tixie.
Yeah, I think Narasta and Tixie are going to come out behind Bradley. I think Bradley's safe. Question is, will they come out ahead of Jan?
That's going to be the question.
That is the question. And Jan is closing in a bit as well, I think.
I think Jan was a little lucky with the traffic he had.
We'll have to see if these two are actually going to pit on this lap. I mean, they're on the hards in theory. I mean, if they've got decent pace, they could, in theory, try and take the softs. Not right now, but they'd have to take these hards a little bit longer. They seem comfortable enough with them, but all the time Bradley's closing in.
Well, that is an option, but you will come out behind then, but the soft will obviously bring you closer.
Be much, much quicker for a good few laps, actually.
Tixie is still looking for that lead, so they're not like, let's stay behind each other and gain some time, but are they both going in? No, only Narastaya.
Only Narasta, so Tixie carries on. Casito's saying the race is a joke. He's not happy with the stewards. He's not happy with whoever checked the lobby.
Which is understandable, because...
Which is very understandable, and there will probably be repercussions for this. I don't know who the host was.
This race is going to be fully completed, I think, so what...
Well, it will be, and that means that... Nope, Jan goes ahead of...
Quite a gap as
Narasta.
well. Wow, that's...
But does stay ahead of Persegili. Persegili obviously hitting traffic there. Lil Glona in 6th currently, but hasn't pitted yet. Lil Glona the only one, aside from Tixie, to still pit at the minute.
Exactly. But Jan is the big winner from the front runners after the pit stops.
3 seconds down on Bradley, which is closer than he was. But can he do anything about it? Doesn't really look like it. The gap appears to be creeping up.
Well, let's see. But I'm not that worried. I'm afraid he's not gonna get Bradley. But he was just ahead of Nagataya and Persegili when he came in, and now it's 5 seconds.
I think he's going to come out ahead of Tixie as well, although I'm not too sure what Tixie's plan is here. Are they going to go box for the mediums now? No, carrying on. Maybe going for a hard, soft strategy?
He is going for that.
Must be. That's it's an unusual one. Not much else happening.
If he's still fine with the tires, if he feels okay, then why not take that gamble and be quicker at the end?
I suppose, yeah, but then he's got to fight his way through traffic potentially as well.
Maybe.
Closest gap on track at the minute is these two, Catastrophius and... Actually, I say that now, Persegili is actually closing on Nara.
Fastest lap as well, just for him.
Was that Persegili fastest lap, sorry?
Yeah.
Yep, he's got the mediums on, he's got a fresh pair of boots on, and he is loving life. But even if he'll probably get past Nara, but 4 seconds then the gap, nearly 5 seconds to Jan and the podium. Granted, he probably will, I don't know, he may come out ahead of Tixie as Gamma loses out to Mali in the battle for 7th place.
I think Gamma is just trying to finish his race where he is because he's still 11 or 12 places up. So
I'm not
looking
too
where he
sure what.
started.
Not too sure what Lil Glona's plan is. I'm still on the mediums.
He might take a gap. Wow, imagine if he can go to the softs. But
Medium
18 laps
soft.
on the medium. Those tires are done.
I mean, it's
think.
impressive, but the amount of time he's going to lose, or she's going to lose, or whoever is going to lose behind, in the pit stops, they're already down in 6th. They'll be out of the points, and it'll be a heck of a drive if they're able to get back into them. As Tixie does finally pit on lap 20. Let's see what tire goes on. Bradley will definitely go through. Yam will go through. I think Tixie may well be at the back of this little train. And it is... I can't see what tires those are.
Soft tires, it is.
It is soft tires. It is soft tires.
So they will be gone at the end, but
I mean,
9 laps,
I
still
think
a lot.
everyone's tires are gone. As Lil Galona also finally pits and gets a 5-second penalty. So Tixie comes out 5th place behind Persegili and Narista, but
He will
on
get
soft compound tires, which should have a lot of pace in them. And as I said, Galona dropping way down the order now. It's going to come out behind JTK, behind iCrazy, possibly even behind Rocco.
Well, the ideal scenario for Tixie is getting past Narastaya and Persegili in the upcoming 3 laps, and then see what gap you can pull, and then after that,
The tires will probably be dead at that point. Yeah.
Hoping that the gap is big enough.
Trying to think how long Castro lasted on his. It was only about 7 laps he lasted before he really started struggling, wasn't it?
Indeed.
Persegili, meanwhile, frustrated behind Nara, unable to find a way through.
Well, that only helps Tixie so far, so that's still good for the house driver.
Just trying to look at the ERS here. By even Stevens, Tixie's burnt most of theirs already.
Yes, both of the cars ahead with 44.
Tixie down to 25. And how's that gap? The gap is coming down, albeit not as quick as I thought it would.
Percy is not using, but he's gonna go for the move. No, he backed off.
Gap's actually increased a bit there because of the DRS effect. 2 cars traveling in the line go faster than 1.
Well, the gap is fine. Did you have an eye on the gap? But it's now 5.4 to Bradley, but is it gaining or is it?
It is, no, it's increasing, 5.5, almost 5.6.
Yeah, he's losing out, so.
Yeah, I think Bradley, provided he keeps it clean, has got this one in the bag. Because it's not like a safety car can stop him or anything. It's literally his own mistakes are the only thing that can stop him at this point.
Yes.
But can hardly be disappointing. We've had a great race in terms of the battles and the overtakes. Whether it has been run properly or not will be dealt with afterwards, but the actual race so far has been some really clean, good racing. As Lil Glona goes on the charge back, fights her way past iCrazy. So shows you the soft versus the hard round the outside of turn 10.
Wow.
Surely not. Goes underneath.
Race breaks very late. He's not gonna let that happen.
Trying to use. How did iCrazy get DRS? I'm trying to think where the detection point is on that.
I think
straight.
Glona was ahead at the detection.
Must have been only just because they were basically side by side throughout the whole thing. But I think Glona's going to have him here. And Persegili has dropped back a little bit.
Yeah, I think he. Yeah.
I think Persegili maybe have burned out his tyres somewhat by following Narat for too long.
Well, they're both not using ERS at the moment, so they're sparing for the big fight.
As
at the
Lil
end.
Glona DRS down the straight, and I was going to say that iCrazy has no answer, but he does.
He's still sticking it there. Wow.
He is still sticking there. That's brave, and he gets DRS for the next straight.
Still
This is
side
only
by
for
side.
it's only for 12th place, but it's a good wee battle. They're still side by side.
Nice space.
As tries to hold it around the outside, a little bit of argy-bargy there.
Still side by side. What a fight!
Oh,
Yeah.
this can only go on for so long, and indeed, Galona does get ahead.
Wait, he's trying to go. Ooh, that's
The inside, that was close, but Galona survives.
big oversteer moment there for IKZ. Trying to get on
Thing
the
is,
power.
and they've both used most of their ERS as well. Everyone has. Everyone's down in the 20s, it looks like. And then there's JTK proving me wrong by sitting at 45%. Percy Geely gets 3-second time penalty.
Ooh, that's gonna be painful.
So Tixie will get ahead of him anyway at this rate. He should still get 5th, but
I think it's just track limits. Yeah. Ooh.
yeah, it is. So you cannot dispute that. Because it's not like we had an incident there or anything. That's just him overextending. So now all he can hope to do is damage limitation, hold on to 5th. Net 5th, I should say. Maybe try and hold Tixie up from getting towards Nara.
But they are getting massively closer to the to Jan.
They are. Jan is not finding this compound as comfortable as he probably thought. He was the first to pit as well, remember? So his tyres will be slightly older. Oh, bit of argy-bargy going on there between Tixie and Persegili. And Persegili actually letting Tixie through. I think he probably felt he'd been in the wrong there. And it's all gone wrong for Persegili with a 3-second penalty. Now Mali is 9 seconds behind, so he's not going to lose 5th at the minute. But
Well, I think you just let him go because he's just waiting on the mistake of them. Because if you stay
yeah,
ahead,
maybe.
it'll make it difficult.
Yeah, maybe hoping the two of them start battling and take each other out or something. That's his only hope right now, to be honest.
Yeah, that's his only thing. Yeah, so otherwise it's P5.
Yep, which isn't a bad result, but he'll be kicking himself that he made a mistake like that.
Well, looking at how close they are, P2 was possible for all of them. So first Gilly was.
And Jan has lost the rear. He avoids a spin.
Big moment.
It
Good
was
save.
a big moment. He avoids a spin,
Can Tixie attack? No, he's too far.
and he's trying to come back. So it's Nara who is taking second at the minute. Nothing stopping Bradley so far.
Tixie absolutely breaking the latest possible. It's just behind him now.
I was going to say,
On
yeah,
those soft-
Tixie on those soft compounds, but have they gone through their best phase already?
Not yet, I think.
Well,
There's only 3 left hold, or 4 now. But this is the last few
he
left.
better- I was going to say, yeah, he better do something about it quick, because he needs to get out of this dirty air if he hopes to make those soft tyres be in any reasonable condition. Bit of argy-bargy going on there. Jan is desperate not to lose any more places, but he's burnt most of his ERS. Oh, just cuts in front of Tixie. Oh!
Oh, and he spins around. Oh, that's sad.
Oh, and then Persegili smashing into the rear. Now, was there
They're all
contact?
coming on. Yeah, I think Dixie just hit.
It was hard to tell. They looked pretty clean on my screen. I don't know what. See, that's the thing. I don't know if that was contact or whether that was just Jan getting on the inside curb and spinning the car.
There's a lot of desync, I think, but
There was a lot of desync, but he also took a lot of curb on that turn 10. A lot of curb.
he was gone immediately. So I still think it was a hit. We're gonna have to see.
We'll find out if they push for the penalty, but that gives Nara a bit of breathing room. 4 seconds, in fact. And Mali has closed the gap to 5.5.
And Nagastaya is now gone. Yeah.
Could Persegili still yet be in trouble? He's gone wide again.
He's
Doesn't look like he
struggling
has any Are these is damage been turned on? It must have been, because yeah, Castillo took damage, because
Well, maybe-
those were some pretty hard hits, and none of these cars appear to have any form of damage.
Well, that will be even worse.
Yeah.
A lobby
Meanwhile-
with everything off.
Meanwhile, in the land of the Ferraris, JTT and Castro trying to hold back a French invasion.
The Ferraris.
It's the French-Italian War,
Yeah, wow.
with the British
Exactly.
watching on the sidelines, in the form of Rickety. Roy to the inside. JTK will have the inside line for the next corner.
Rickety.
Here you go.
Oh, there goes Alpine.
Oh, Roy! What
Just
happened
saved
there?
it. He just went onto the power very early and it just saved
Little
that wall.
snap. He was so close to hitting that wall, he just looked like he straight-lined. I almost thought, like, has his wheel stopped working or something? But no, he just keeps it, but now he's out of the points.
It was a big save from Roy there, for
Big
sure.
save indeed. And now the two Ferraris are running line astern. Can't help but wonder if there was any agreement. Did Castro let JTK through on the promise that, like, look, if I'm quicker, will you let me back through?
Maybe they're close to each other, all raced through. Even
They
in
are, and
qualifying, so
Castro
it's
does seem to have a bit more pace at the minute. If only just, and it might be just because of DRS. Oh, hello, Glona. Look, that mistake has brought this whole little mini train lane sort of back into contention.
Well, they started 14th and 15th, now 8th and 9th. So
honestly, the only driver who's had a somewhat quiet race today is Mali, who is still in 6th, 4 seconds away from the car in front, 8 seconds ahead of the car behind, nearly 9, and has just been pottering around. And Persigili actually has that 3-second penalty, I remember, and that gap is closing.
So far, both Red Bulls had a boring race, but Nagastaya is closing in, under 3 seconds now.
Yeah, the gap 4.1, the gap 4.2, it's hovering there at the minute. But Persigili has to be careful. If he's pushing that hard, there's every chance he could get another 3-second penalty. We've seen him run wide a couple of times, so I don't know how many warnings he's on after that initial penalty. He could be one warning away from 6 seconds, you know. We don't know.
He just made another mistake, so the gap is now under 3 seconds, 3.3 though.
It would be good if Cody's could, if they're listening, they probably aren't, but I would like it if when you look at the penalties tab, it has like a tally where it counts how many times they've run wide. So then you could see, like, say they've got 3 seconds and they've been out of the track and a further 2 times, it would show 3-second penalty and 2 little tally marks to say they've got one more warning before they get another penalty. That would be quite useful information for the viewer, I think.
Exactly.
And it wouldn't take up much space on the user interface either, so...
But it's possible, but it has, you have to go all the way to the race direction and look up all the race, see and count the warnings, so that's not ideal.
Well, no, but I'm saying, but you see the way we have these tiny little flags at the side of the name. If I can put on detail there, penalties, just put it to the right of those little flags.
Yeah, that's
easy peasy, you know. Looking at the details there, position changes. Shoutouts to Gamma, our who will be leading our overtake championship. It's a little mini thing we do every year. He's gone up 12 places in this race.
I'm a big fan of that. Yes, Gamma beats always long in P7.
What's hilarious is it's normally the drivers who are who just take their time and are very chill that get those awards. I believe last year in Challenger it was Unstoppable who won the most overtakes award.
Yes.
He was usually at the back, but he just kept it clean and everyone else blew up in front of him, and he got the most overtakes out of everyone that entire season.
Yep, that's true.
Which is something he can parade about in future races, I'm sure.
Of course. It's,
and we've got Lil Glissa pitting.
Oh, still?
Maybe hoping to try and snatch fastest lap point away as Suyan is facing backwards.
Probably.
At turn 2. I mean, down in 16th anyway, so not much to say on that regard.
But it's Nagastaya now 1.1 behind Bradley. If
Hello.
you thought it was over, it's not.
Where has this come from? Did Bradley make a mistake? We didn't see any yellows.
No. It's just...
Are the hards dead?
Bradley has 2 lap old hards and Nagastaya has 10 lap old mediums. So.
But Bradley has 67% ERS. Narista down to 14%.
Yeah, that
1.5 laps to go. Could we be in for an almighty upset at the end of the Bahrain Grand Prix? Because this is the most pressure Bradley has been under, and DRS is a powerful thing. And the thing is, if Narissa gets past him on DRS, the DRS straight will not be long enough on the final lap for Bradley to get past. This is actually dangerous times for Bradley. These are dangerous times. 6/10. Half a second.
Fuel light is flashing well, by the way.
That means he's just... there's no fuel sign on my screen, but he probably is running on fumes a little bit. 3/10. This is dangerous. Bradley is in trouble.
Very close now, yes.
Now, if Narista is sensible here, she'll hang back and wait for DRS.
Well, it's going to be a fight between ERS and DRS, because Nagastaya will have DRS, and Bradley has almost all his ERS, so it's going to be power on both sides, extra power.
It will be. DRS open. Weaving to get out of the slipstream.
He is real.
No, you can't keep weaving like that. No, come on, that's not one defensive move.
That's going to stop. There he goes for the move. No, he's not.
I think that might be taken to the stewards. That was more than one defensive move, wouldn't you say?
That were 3. Bradley now with an overstay. Oh, and he hits him. Oh no. I don't think Bradley was at fault there. It was just Nagastaya hitting the back of him.
I think she did, yeah. Or he did. But Bradley is not out of the woods.
Dixie might win this race if it's going to be a penalty for weaving.
It depends what sort of penalty they give. If she keeps it within 5 seconds, possibly. But that was dubious to me. You cannot weave like that to keep breaking the toe. You're allowed one move to break the. You can't keep on weaving.
Of course, we had the real life moment at Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
That was allowed once by the stewards. But we've had it more than once here, so this time it might be finished.
Controversy is never far away in Formula 1. We've obviously got the controversy of the race itself, the settings, and
it's gonna be Bradley.
That Mercedes might want to get out of the way. James Taylor, 3.7 the gap has come down to because of the slipstream, but across the line anyway, on track at least, Bradley wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. Tixi takes second. Narista will hold on to third. As Lil Glissa, it is an I. It is a Gissa. It is an I, according to that. Lil Gissa takes the fastest lap point, although they won't get a point because they're all that way down. Jan takes fourth, Mali fifth, Percy Gili sixth at the end. Gamma B should hold on to seventh. I think he's far enough away in terms of his time penalties. Yeah, 5 seconds there.
Will he stay in 7th? Yes.
JTK will take 8th, Catastrophe is 9th, and Rickety will get the final point. No, he won't. It'll be Roy who gets the final point.
Rickety had a penalty then?
Rickety did have a penalty. Must have been 3 seconds.
Wow.
And, well, I don't know what way to call this, to be honest. At the minute, as far as we're aware, Bradley has won. But those moves at the end were very, very dubious, and we'll also have to find out what happened coming through turn 2 there. Was it Nara just hitting the back? Was it her own mistake, or was there a swipe from the car in front?
Well, Bradley had a moment. He had oversteer, so he was much slower, but I think it's still Narastayo who hits the back. Could have avoided that, but
we will find out momentarily. Let me just grab a screenshot here of the positions.
Well, unlike to yesterday, it's an evening to talk about.
That's true. So
yesterday was not really something happening, but
just to confirm your positions there, Bradley wins from Tixi, Nara, Jan, Mali, Persegili, Gamma, JTK, Catastrophe, Roy in the top 10, Rickety, iCrazy, Rocco, Lil Diona, James Taylor, Suyan, and Lil Gissa. Oh, sorry, it's Lil Glona and Lil Gissa. It's an I on Gissa, sorry. Bringing up the rear, but also the fastest lap of 130.5. Your non-classified finishers, Casito and Benjo. Thomas D was on there, but he shouldn't have been. So that is the way it all finishes. So yeah,
where do we start?
that was certainly a race.
The first thing to talk about is the lobby, but
James Taylor saying there about calling for a race restart apparently. Because the lobby settings were incorrect.
Did he say that just after the start?
Apparently Rickety was the host.
Ooh, that should have been a mistake then, because he normally doesn't do something like that. He knows how it works. So. But are there any drivers to interview?
Apparently Bradley overfueled the car by 1 lap, which wasn't enough, and he was losing fuel. He had to lift off, which cost him 2 seconds a lap.
You mean that the collision?
No, well, I think just in general.
Okay. Well.
Benjo suggesting to report Bradley for weaving. Sorry, let me just exit the session here. And we'll drag people in for interviews in a second. How do I get my I want to grab my podium pass rewards as well. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Level 20 at the minute. And before you ask, no, I'm not paying for the podium pass itself. You must be out of your mind.
Absolutely. You have to be crazy.
Just looking in pro chat here. Jan saying, you shoot me out, bro. Bro, safety car. Benjo still told maybe race won't be classified. Porcasy was driving around 10 laps. Not. Yeah, they're talking about Casito there. Have we got anyone in?
It's been a weird evening. A lot of things that shouldn't have happened. And the biggest one is the lobby. But what do you want to do
Tixie
about
saying, I didn't even hit you, mate. You just started lagging and spinning.
it? Who said that?
Tixie on talking about Jan.
That was earlier in the race, I think. Can't really remember.
I'm not too sure which point it was that they're on about.
It would be great if they have clips.
It would be. But
Not everyone has them.
we don't have anyone in the interview room at the minute, but maybe there's just some discussion going on.
Yeah, there are some drivers in 5 cars.
Yeah, but that we can't just
Only
really
them
we can't really just jump in there. There is a channel for waiting for interview.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh wait, hang on. It's because we're in voice channel for Challenger 1. Let's head up to voice Challenger for Pro.
I
real
don't
quick.
have that, so you have to drag me.
Okay. Never mind, apparently I can't. I can't move you for some reason.
Well, I can't see the complete pro.
No, yeah, that's why I can't move you, because you don't have permissions. Can I move people down to... Let's go into VC1 then. We'll use VC1 for tonight,
Yeah.
okay? Because I can move people in here. Suyam posting clips. I suppose we'll start out with our race winner.
Sure.
So let's bring Bradley in. Race winner Bradley, ladies and gentlemen. Bradley, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Well, first of all, congratulations
Yep, thanks.
on a win there. You had us panicking a little bit near the end. We thought you had a damage or something like that. It would look pretty clean for most of the race, but until the end. Talk us through things from your side.
Yeah, the start was good, so I kept my position. From there on, I was just cruising on the mediums. They really lasted for a long period, way longer than I expected. But the main problem was because I lost so much time at the end that I overfueled the car with 1 lap, which is more than enough usually, because yeah, it's overfueling with 1 lap. So why you should run out of fuel? So halfway through the race, I was just on minus, so I had to lift off like crazy. And every straight, I was lifting off 200 meters again everywhere, but my fuel was just not regaining. It just didn't happen. So at the end, I just about got my fuel to a load that I could finish the race. Otherwise, I wouldn't even finish it in low fuel mode. So it was really annoying. I don't know what happened. I overfueled the car, but somehow yeah, the fuel was going like crazy. I'm confused. to be
Sorry,
honest.
real quick, Thomas, did you see any collisions on stream on lap 1?
On lap 1 of the race,
Yeah.
like any driver.
Any drivers?
No, we only had the banjo incident.
Well, have a look at Tier Chat Pro, because there's a Williams facing the wrong way, according to James.
I cannot see that, you know.
Can you not see that?
You might send it.
Can you not see Pro Chat?
No, I don't see any of pro. I have to check
Hang on, rolls.
it. Just send it me private or something.
Okay, hold on. Because according to James, this is what he saw on turn 1, lap 1.
Oh wow, that's...
And we did not see that. We did not. So whether there was some desync, I'm not too sure. Anyway, yes, it's being mentioned in the chat there. I just wanted to have talk about a couple of things. Number one, be honest. Do you think you were being a bit naughty on the final lap, going down the back straight, the main straight, with the weaving?
No.
You don't feel you...
I basically did what Max Verstappen did in Abu Dhabi 2021. And
well,
he didn't get a penalty.
He was
Oh,
nip and tuck
I'm
on
pretty
that
sure
as well.
it's pretty much the same.
I knew it.
So
Well.
you can just watch the replay. They didn't give a penalty there, so impossible I can get a penalty.
Well, I
after
don't
he
know. That
just-
was Michael Massey in charge at that point, so I don't know about that. The rule is generally one defensive move, and that includes for breaking the toe. But it's not my decision. I'm just curious what your thoughts on it. But you think you're clean? That's fine. And then, what about your thoughts on what's being said in Pro Chat, where we've realised now, apparently, that the settings meant no red flags, no safety car,
No formation lap.
and no formation lap either. What
Well-
way do you see this?
I don't really care, to be honest, because safety cars usually screw me over and my lead. But this time actually I could have used it with my fuel. And maybe even, could have made my life a lot easier. So yeah, it's annoying, but if you restart the race, I'm okay with it. I would just win
Well, I
again.
mean, it's not up to us. It's just there's a lot of discussion, and I do
Okay.
feel for some of the drivers, who, I mean, obviously a safety car. We didn't want one like 24/7, but there would only really have been one. But it did result in Casito, basically having to throw away his race because he was driving around hoping for a safety car that was never going to come. Hence why he called it quits. But anyway, and we'll talk to him later on, I'm sure. But and hopefully we'll get to talk to the stewards as well at some point. But for now, you are the winner. Perfect start to the season. Only thing you're missing really was the fastest lap, which was snatched away by the Alpha Tauri of little Gina, I think, or whoever it was.
My fastest lap was at the beginning on the mediums, but of course then you have high fuel. So I switched to the hards later on, and they switched to the medium, but they were way low on fuel. So it's I couldn't get it anymore. I tried, but I was just focusing on the lifting off most of the time, to be honest.
Well, fair enough. Can't say much more than that. But congratulations once again, and we'll see you next time out for Imola.
Yeah, thanks.
Alrighty, good job.
Yeah, have a good one.
Have a good one. Okay, looking in the interview room, we've only got two in there now. Gamma B and who is Roy Daniel? Oh, sorry, that's Roy. What am I doing? I'm dead to the world.
I loved how he said, "I'm gonna win it again if they restart."
There's a lot of debate going on in Pro Chat right now. Let's drag the winner of the most overtakes for this race, Gamma B.
Oh!
Gamma!
Yo!
Congratulations on getting the most overtakes in this race. You made the most positions out of anyone. Good start for you on that regard.
I'm the real goat.
Talk us through the race. Just the race for now. We are aware of the controversies. We'll talk about that afterwards. Talk us through your race first of all.
Well, it's quite poor qualifying at the back, really. It's not my finest work, but we move. Lap one, you can't go backwards when you're at the back, so it was it's pretty free. Yeah, but lap one was alright. I was just picking off cars. I don't know what happened to turn 1 and 2 and 3. It was a bit of a.
I was going to ask, who did you see spinning? Because on our stream, everyone went through cleanly, and I mean everyone.
No, there was the opposite of clean. It was like Suan. I don't know if he spun, but something happened to him. I just went round the outside, and I was safe. I didn't want to get caught up in all of that. But I mean, after that, just the race pace I had was decent, and I was able to go past cars pretty cleanly. And then in the pit stop phase, I sped in the pit lane, and I was stressing over my 5-second penalty. But in the end, I was able to hold the gap from the cars behind. It was a pretty lonely race. First stint was crazy, a lot of overtakes, a bit of kissing with front wings and rear wings. But then after that, it was pretty straightforward.
Fair enough. Your thoughts then on, we've got two bits of controversy. Although I don't know if did you see what Bradley did or what people were saying about that, about the weaving
Yeah,
on the
he
back
weaved.
straight?
Yeah, he weaved. He weaved like 4 or 3 times.
No, from his point of view, he's saying he just did what Max Verstappen did in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Do you
Well, I
buy
don't
that
know.
defense, or?
I don't know. Wait, on the last lap, right? Or when was it?
Yeah, well, coming
Yeah.
across the line to start the last lap.
Yeah, it's not that deep. No one really cares. Bradley's gonna win anyway, so
Well, not
it is what it is.
Not necessarily. He underestimated the fuel he needed, and he was losing a lot of time. It wasn't impossible for him to lose that race at the end there. Just
Yeah,
an
that's
unfortunate
true.
collision.
if Naga didn't hit him, he could have gone for the Moto 4. So.
That's true. That's true. And then I suppose the other thing we've got to ask about is this whole thing with the lobby settings. I see there's a lot of debate about it in Pro.
We're not restarting. There's no
I
way
wasn't
we're
expecting us to, but
I wouldn't do that either.
I grinded for that position. We better not restart. There's no way. There's like, but to be fair, it would have changed the outcome a lot if we had the settings correct, because there definitely would have been a safety car when Benjo got
yeah.
splattered in
You got to feel for Casido. You got to feel for him because
What happened to him?
he kept going
Oh,
round thinking that there was going to be a
there was
safety car,
Nope, no safety car.
and it was
for him.
never going to come.
He was a lap down anyway, though, right?
Well, yeah, but only because he pitted his second time because he thought I'll see it because there was another incident, quite a big one. He saw the yellows and thought, look, I'll take the gamble in case the safety car comes out, and of course he didn't realise that was an impossibility.
Yeah, that's true. It could have been a red flag, to be fair. There was a car blocking the way, so it could have been a red flag. That would have been even crazier.
That would have been crazier, but of course it didn't really happen.
Yeah,
But anyway, hopefully we get that sorted for next week. Anything else you want to add? Anyone?
no, it was just quite lovely, actually. It's just quite lovely. Simply lovely. Well executed, beautiful. Now, I expect these things from you, Lars, mate. Next week.
I already explained about the setup bollocks, okay? You know. Next time, when we practice Imola, we're going to have it where, we're racing in the set time condition.
Official times.
Official times, that's it. Although that's not what's listed. It's listed as realistic.
Yeah, there we go.
For some reason. But anyway. But I was going to say, we seem to have both cursed each other because you said you have faith in me, I said I have faith in you, and then we both ended up being like, oh, we're nowhere near where we wanted to be.
Now we're just trolling around.
We are cursed brothers. We have cursed each other.
That's alright. As long as we're doing it together, it's alright.
Meanwhile, Thomas D, am I getting podiums?
Yeah, Thomas D's up there, mate. What were you doing in the race? I looked behind me in P20 and I saw a Thomas D, a wild Thomas D.
I joined.
Out for a man next to me.
I joined later, and I'm not gonna lie, I forgot to press spectate. But
you didn't send it in turn 1, right?
At least there was one spare for you. I did that once a couple of years ago at Monaco by accident when I was rejoining the session, and I ended up taking someone's car by accident.
I was the medical car at the beginning,
just making sure everyone's okay.
Very slow behind everyone. Yeah.
Imagine that, a Formula 1 car ambulance. Sounds like something Jeremy Clarkson would have.
I would have stepped out if there was a big. No, I'm just into the pits.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right. I think we've only got one left in the chat, and that is Roy.
Yeah. Alright, cheers, guys.
Who finished? Where did Roy finish again? Where's my list of positions?
P10.
He just got in the points. Right. Well, thank you very much, Gamma, and we'll see you in Imola next week.
Yeah. See ya. Bye.
Good job. See you around, man.
Bye.
And last but by no means least, Roy.
Hi. Yeah.
Hello, Roy. Well done on getting into the points. P10 at the end of the day. Maybe you were hoping for more. Maybe that's as much as you were thinking. Maybe it was a surprise for you. Talk us through your race and let us know.
Well, yeah, it was. I was going for points, obviously, but I started P7, so I hoped I could hold on to the top 5 maybe if I was lucky. But then in the start, Benjo was sideways in front of me, and I thought ghosting was on, but it wasn't. So I got some wing damage, and I fell down to P14, I think.
So you did have damage.
You did have damage.
Yeah.
See on our stream, we saw everyone going through turn 1 pretty cleanly.
No, it was turn the next turn 3 or 4, whatever number it is.
Oh, right, that one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine because we thought there was damage off as well, but no.
Yeah. I had a lot of understeer, especially into the SS. It was very annoying. But yeah, and then I just pitted early on lap 10, and then just drove pretty lonely until the last laps where the medium runners caught up, and I almost put it in the wall when they overtook
Yeah, we
me
saw
because
that.
I tried to defend.
What happened
very-
there? Was it just too early on the power, or what was it?
Yeah, I was just a bit too aggressive trying to keep
It's
up.
It has felled
Yeah.
the best of men.
Yeah, I don't know how I kept it out of the wall. It was very
Yeah, very nice
impressive.
save. Very nice save.
Yeah, and then I just tried to see if I could catch up, and then Ricky got that 3-second penalty, so I got P10 in the end. So it was pretty good.
But still a reward after all that.
Yeah. It was pretty nice.
Well, your thoughts, I suppose, on the controversy?
Yeah, I don't want to race again, but yeah, I thought the settings was a bit weird. Like, they should have been something else maybe, but yeah, obviously safety car and ghosting and all that should have been on, but you know, it is what it is. Like, I don't want to race again, but
It's not a good option in my opinion.
yeah,
Meanwhile, chat appears to have devolved into everyone saying it's not real or it is real. We appear to have a civil war going on.
yeah. Apparently it's
I
not real.
don't know.
Nothing is real anymore. You know, Matrix is just attacking James.
Oh well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we'll leave it there. We'll hopefully be able to clarify everything for next week.
Yeah.
And
Hopefully.
yeah, but all in all, a pretty good race. Good battles to be seen throughout the field. There was action pretty much the whole time,
Yeah.
which is what we
yeah.
really want at the end of the day. And so, no complaints from me on that regard.
Yeah, it was actually not that lonely for me as well. I had always someone like around me.
Yeah, nice driving, nice driving.
Yeah. Well, on
yeah.
that note, then, I think we'll call it there then.
Yeah.
So, not a bad way to open up the season. Thank you once again to, well, first of all, thank you, Roy, for joining the interview there. Thank you, Thomas, for being my co-commentator. All is forgiven for Azerbaijan. I had to bring it up once. But yes, I will unfortunately not be doing this every week, which is a shame because I do enjoy my commentating. But there will be a point where I can't do Thursdays anymore. But hopefully next week as well, at least. And I'd like to have you back in the box with me, Thomas, because you're a great week co-commentator, if
Thank you very
you'll want to. And we hope to have everyone watching with us as well, because that was a great wee race, and Imola promises to be even better, I would say. But until then, congratulations to Bradley once again. We'll see, regardless of what the stewards say, he did win on track. He did all he could. Some great racing throughout, and we hope to bring more of it for you next week. Until then, it is goodbye from me. And it is goodbye from Thomas as well. Say goodbye, Thomas, please.
Yeah, goodbye.
Adios, everybody, and we will see you at Imola in a week's time. Until then, take very good care, and have a good night.